Have you ever wondered why some guys seem to attract women without even trying, while others put in all the effort and get nowhere? Today, we're diving into effortless attraction. Why women are often more drawn to men who do less, not more. And no, it's not about being lazy. It's about energy, mindset, and self-respect. Let's break it down. Section 1. The psychology of less effort. Host. On camera, calm tone. Most people believe that attraction is all about effort. The more attention you give someone, the more they'll like you back. We grow up hearing things like chase what you want or don't give up on love. Movies, songs, and even social media push this idea constantly. But in real life, attraction doesn't always work that way. And in fact, psychology suggests something very different. There's a principle known as the law of least effort. It's rooted in both behavioral psychology and evolutionary theory. At its core, it says this: people are drawn to what feels effortless, natural, and emotionally balanced. We're subconsciously attracted to individuals who seem calm, confident, and self-assured, not needy, desperate, or overly eager. Think about it. When someone doesn't seem to be trying too hard, when they're not constantly seeking validation or forcing a connection, it actually raises their perceived value. It sends a subtle but powerful message. I have options. I'm centered. I'm not here trying to prove myself. And that energy is magnetic. It's not about playing games or being cold. It's about emotional composure. When someone feels emotionally grounded, like they're not shaken by external approval or rejection, others naturally want to be around them. Because that energy communicates strength. It says, I'm good with or without you. And ironically, that's often what makes people want to be closer. Section 2. The problem with overinvesting. Too soon. Let's be honest for a second. Texting non-stop, buying gifts too early, planning every detail of someone's life. It feels generous, right? You might think, I'm showing them how much I care. But here's the problem. If it's too much, especially when you've just met someone, it often feels forced. And when things feel forced, people tend to pull back. Even if they don't consciously realize it, there's something about that dynamic that creates discomfort. Why does this happen? It's because when you give too much too soon, it puts pressure on the other person. It says, please like me back. And that energy can often create a sense of obligation rather than fostering real, authentic connection. The person on the receiving end may feel like they have to return the gesture or maintain a certain level of interest, even if they aren't fully invested. It might seem nice on the surface, but underneath, there's a kind of unspoken pressure, and this is where things start to go wrong. Instead of deepening attraction, you create imbalance. The more you overinvest in the early stages, the more it can drive a wedge between you and the other person, because it doesn't allow them to come to you naturally. It feels one-sided. It's a classic mistake, trying to win someone over by overgiving, but this approach often leads to disconnection rather than intimacy. So here's a key principle to keep in mind. Attraction thrives on mutual investment, not imbalance. You want to give without the expectation of immediate return. That way, the relationship can unfold naturally without pressure or obligation. Section 5. Mystery versus manipulation. Now let's clear up a big misconception. This whole less effort thing, this idea of stillness and self-focus, is not about being manipulative or playing mind games. It's not about ignoring her texts to seem alpha or withholding affection to play hard to get. That's fake. People can see right through that. And honestly, it doesn't build real attraction. True mystery isn't about being aloof or pretending you don't care. It's about not oversharing everything right away. It's about letting someone discover you gradually, at a pace that feels natural. It's about depth instead of instant access to everything about you. The key to mystery is pacing. It's about showing just enough to create curiosity, but not so much that there's nothing left to discover. And that's where true connection begins to form. When you hold back just a little, not in a manipulative way, but in a way that says, "There's more to me than what you see right now." It adds intrigue. It encourages someone to lean in, to get to know you more deeply. The best relationships, the strongest connections, aren't the ones that happen overnight. They're the ones that develop over time, at a pace that feels organic and effortless. So to be clear, this isn't about tricks or manipulation. It's about embracing the natural rhythm of connection. True mystery is rooted in authenticity, in not rushing to reveal everything all at once, and in allowing the other person to experience your growth and depth over time. Section 6. What to actually do. So, how do you actually embody this effortless attraction in your own life? It's simple, really. Here's a step-by-step breakdown that you can start applying today. Be available, not always accessible. This one's huge. It's important to make time for people, but don't drop everything for someone the moment they call or text. Being available shows you care, but being constantly accessible can give the impression that you're always waiting around. And that's a little needy, right? Communicate with clarity, not neediness. When you speak to someone, make sure your words are clear and come from a place of confidence. Don't send a million texts seeking validation or wondering where things stand. Instead, be direct and let your actions speak louder than your words. Neediness can be sensed instantly, and it turns people off. Clarity, on the other hand, fosters respect and genuine connection. Show interest, but don't seek approval. It's natural to be interested in someone, but be mindful not to turn that interest into a quest for approval. When you act from a place of self-assurance, it shows you don't need validation from others to feel worthy. You simply enjoy the connection for what it is. When you seek approval, you're placing your sense of self-worth in someone else's hands. Instead, focus on enjoying the moment, enjoying each other's company, and being authentic. Lead your own life first. This is the foundation of everything we've talked about. If you're not leading your own life, pursuing your own goals, and working on your own growth, there's no way to naturally attract others. A man who has a clear sense of purpose is inherently magnetic because he has his own direction. Don't wait for someone else to validate your path. Walk it confidently on your own. Remember, this isn't about pulling back to punish anyone. It's about maintaining your center. When you stay grounded and centered, you're showing up from a place of strength, not insecurity. This energy makes all the difference. Section 3. Stillness. Signals strength. Now here's the twist. Doing less doesn't mean doing nothing. It doesn't mean sitting around passively or pretending to not care. It's not about being indifferent either. What it really means is that you're centered, you're grounded, you're not reacting emotionally to every little thing, and you're definitely not rushing to win someone over. You're okay with letting things unfold in their own time. Stillness, patience, and restraint. These are the qualities of someone who is emotionally secure. These are the real signals of strength. They communicate, I know who I am. I'm confident in myself. I don't need to chase after you because I attract what I want. That's not about playing games or being distant. It's about showing up with presence. It's about creating space for the other person to step into the connection on their own terms. And that energy is magnetic. The more you become comfortable with stillness, the less you'll feel the need to chase, to push, or to manipulate the situation. The more you'll find that people are naturally drawn to you because you're giving them the freedom to choose without pressure. So remember, the most attractive thing you can do is be still, be patient, and let your presence speak for itself. That's real strength. Section 4. Focus on your path. First, host, on camera, calm and confident. There's a key trait that many of the most attractive men share, and it has nothing to do with physical appearance or how much attention they give to others. It's a mission, a purpose that extends beyond dating, beyond romance. These men are deeply focused on something bigger than themselves, something that fuels their passion and drives their daily life. When you're invested in your life, your goals, your growth, you automatically become more attractive. Why? Because your energy shifts. You stop chasing love and instead start living fully. And here's the funny part. It's when you stop actively seeking love that it often shows up. People are naturally drawn to energy that's going somewhere. When you're chasing a mission, when you're working on yourself, you emit an energy that says, I have a purpose and I'm moving toward it. That type of confidence is magnetic. This doesn't mean you have to be perfect or have it all figured out. It just means you've committed to your path. And that's what creates real attraction. When you focus on your growth and your journey, love becomes a natural byproduct, not the goal itself. Section 7. Final thoughts. Effortless doesn't mean careless. To wrap up, let's make something crystal clear. Doing less doesn't mean you don't care. It means you don't overcare. It means you've learned to value your time, your energy, and most importantly, your emotional peace. When you stop chasing, you stop forcing connections. And when you stop forcing things, you give space for the real connection to grow naturally at its own pace. The most powerful thing you can do is respect yourself first. When you show that you value your own time, energy, and well-being, others are drawn to that energy. It's magnetic. And here's the thing. Women, and honestly, people in general, are drawn to someone who respects themselves. When you operate from that space, that's when real attraction begins to build. It's grounded, authentic, and most importantly, it's effortless. So remember, the key to effortless attraction isn't about doing less because you don't care. It's about doing less because you care about yourself. When you focus on your own growth, your own goals, and you stop chasing love, you make room for it to come to you on its own. And when it does, it's real, it's deep, and it's exactly what you've been waiting for. If this opened your eyes, hit the like button, subscribe, and comment below. Have you ever seen this do less, attract more mindset play out in real life? More relationship insights coming soon. Stay grounded, stay intentional, and keep showing up as your best self.